Hey everyone, this is Flaxative,
And CT5.
and we are bringing you the results of Aloyzo's Arsenal number 6.
Yay! About time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry about the delay, folks. Between travel and other card hunter work, this had to go on the back burner a little bit, but we should be back on schedule starting this month. I'm gonna be opening the next contest in about mid-February, and we'll be back on track.
Mid-February, wow.
Yeah. When the new build goes up.
Oh.
Yeah.
I guess. Okay.
All right. So just as a reminder, the design challenge this month was, or last month, was to design a sci-fi themed item with one or more cards from the Citadel expansion that was lower than level 18. That was also balanced. I mean, obviously every item that goes into the game needs to have some semblance of balance, but the difficulty of this challenge, I think, was making these like high level cards work on lower level items. So just generally speaking, there felt like a lower percentage of really good designs than in the last couple months.
Okay.
Just sort of what I expected. I think it's a hard challenge.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of you did pretty well, and we're going to go over 6 good items, including the winner.
Cool.
Alright, so first we have Juxtaposition's Roboplasma Cutter, which is, you want to say something about
I think it just feels good. Like it's an example of an example of a well-designed warrior weapon, because while the percentage of good submissions, as you said, was lower this time, the percentage of hilarious warrior weapons was about the same, if not higher.
Yeah.
And this feels fair.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's if it were in the game, it's a good like tech weapon because it just sort of covers all your bases.
Right.
Except
for movement.
Except for movement,
But,
right? Yeah. But blue yellow, it just feels fair. It feels good. I think it's got a good name and theme going on.
Yeah. CT5 has a good point. Like warrior weapons, you guys really need to step up your game in general. I think like the vast majority of warrior weapons that get submitted to Aloyzo's Arsenal contests are hilariously cheesy, and like try harder on those.
Even other warrior gear is pretty out there sometimes.
Yeah, but the weapons,
especially the weapons. Everyone loves the weapons.
Are like, oh, let's cram on all the like gold and emerald attacks, and then put on some cheap traits. Yeah. So this is like clearly not overpowered to me. In fact, if anything, like it's pretty low average damage for its token cost. Has some nice tech, as CT5 said, and I think it might be one of the very few, if not the only, warrior weapon submitted in this contest that wasn't broken and had like an obvious sci-fi theme to it. So good job, Juxtaposition. You've come a long way since Bejeweled Plus, and I hope the rest of the community follows you.
Yeah. Ion, Storm, and Generator.
Yeah?
That's kind of what this whole staff is, right?
Yeah.
You pull trigger and then whee!
And you get ions, you get storms.
Whee!
Yeah, and the staff doesn't even have any muscle throughs, so my inclusion of it in this video shows you that I'm not obsessed, right? Like...
Whee!
Yeah, I thought this was a cool one. It's a cool combination of cards, in my opinion. You got a little bit of damage, a little bit of utility, and a really tight theme.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
Yeah, it's just well done.
Yeah. I also, like, not that it was the defining element here, but I like 6-card items that have like 2, 2, and 2. Like, visually they look nice. I like them as a player before I started working on the game, and yeah, it's just cool when you can make that work.
Yeah. In other words, this is a bias that if you guys play do in the future might not work out just because it's the thing that
All right. Next, we've got the overclocked rocket boots from 3Beaner, which are cool.
Yeah, you're going really fast, except for
Really
that one
fast.
time where you break the whole thing.
Yeah, it's basically like the crazy fast boots. That's a boots, right? Crazy fast boots,
Something like that.
reckless boots, something like that. Sprint trip.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Except the cards are a little bit cooler than sprint.
All in on the charge.
Yeah, yeah. If you can get that combo, you can go places. To faces.
Indeed. Yup.
Rocket Charge is one of the more obvious cards in my mind for this challenge because it's maybe even a little overvalued in Emerald, just because, I mean, the Dream is doing 15 damage.
Yeah.
That's very rarely going to happen.
Yeah.
It's often a good fly card regardless, but being like a little overcosted, a little hard to use, it seems like a pretty good pick for me for this contest. Because you can go down on the token cost, and I think your item won't be broken, like in this case.
Yeah, there are a couple of neat designs to the Rocket Charge.
Yeah, there
Fun.
were. Yeah, I liked most of the Rocket Charge items, if not all of them. So good job, guys.
Cool.
And now we have Mania Figs Purifier. I like the radioactive spray as like a malfunction sort of thing,
Yeah,
you know?
I definitely agree with that.
And the destructive purge also, it's like, I'm trying to purify things, oops. So that's cool. And then you've got some function with the normal purge and the purging strike.
Yeah.
A good balance of like melee and magic. It's not like all one or all the other. In general, I think this is like a really well designed divine weapon. Would be happy to see it in the game.
For sure.
And apparently, if I don't put in something with destructive purge, there's going to be a riot, someone said. And then someone else said there'd be a riot if more destructive purge was put in the game, so
There's always going to be a riot.
always going to be a riot. Strap in. Yeah, not a whole lot to say here other than that I think it's a sweet design, so good job.
Yeah. As you said, the spray was a very nice touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anything
Hey.
about this item that you like?
Well, it's pretty strong.
It is pretty strong.
Yeah.
So, I like Healing Beacon at minor token. I like trying to push that. So nice job.
Thanks.
I
But it's not the
also-
winner, so go on.
Well, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
This is a pretty good design. You know, you've got a couple healing cards. It's rejuvenation. It's seems pretty balanced, but maybe on the strong side. There was another pretty similar item submitted that I liked a little bit better,
And I
that
agree with
is
that.
This one,
The winner.
This is the winner. So congratulations, Degen Squared, because you win Aloyzo's Arsenal number 6.
No.
Expect some prizes when your item goes into the game and all that stuff. But what's sweet here, which I think CT5 you were like one card away from, was making all the cards healing cards. Because like you're basically taking the healing beacon as like the foundation of the design of the item,
Right.
and then you've got this cool name. Yours was rejuvenating, his was restorative. Either way, like it feels like healing goes with it, right? So this was my favorite item in the contest, and the healing pulses I think work really well.
Exactly.
Resonating. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I really like this one as well.
Yeah, I think you could have like 2 help the weeks and it would be a weaker design than this, just because the pulse works so well with the name.
Exactly.
And the name works so well with the beacon.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
funny anecdote is when we were designing Citadel, at one point the laser and healing beacons were arranged, so they affected more than one square away.
Oh.
And that was really cool in its own way, but also we decided, it's like too much to keep track of. Like, am I in line of sight of this terrain? Because you can't even like get line of sight easily from a square that has a terrain attachment in it. You
Yeah.
like right click on it and it pops up the card. So we decided not to do that. But in my mind, like, healing beacon is all about like pulsating out healing. I think you still get that even if it's a small burst.
Yeah, definitely.
So this is pretty sweet. Looking forward to see if this item gets played.
Me too.
Probably at least in single player. It's not bad. Couple it with healing spirit or something.
Yeah. Well, except single player is just Nimbus. Sorry.
Oh yeah, but like, if you don't have Nimbus,
You'll get Nimbus eventually. Anyways.
a lot of people are like,
Okay.
I don't have Nimbus.
Yeah. Yeah, this would work.
Yeah. So that's awesome. Good job, everyone who submitted. Thank you for submitting.
Indeed.
And sorry again about the delay in the contest, but I'll give you a hint for the theme, a little sneak hint at the theme of the next contest is it's going to go out on February 14th. So
Oh.
think of that what you like.
Ooh.
And yeah.
Cool. Good job.
Is there anything else that we say in these?
We should wrap it up at some point.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it could just be a long thing of.
Yup.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. And stay tuned for news about AI because we might have some for you soon.
Improvements on the AI. I'm very late to this boat train. Anyways,
All
take
right.
care, everyone.
Cool. Yeah. See ya, card hunters.